Hi, honey. Welcome back to our weekly date night. We're Mike and Jen, just navigating life, marriage, and type 1 diabetes together. All right, let's get into it. Hi, Arnie and Megan.
Hey, Jen and Mike, how are y'all?
Good.
Doing good.
So glad to finally see your face, Megan. I don't know that I've ever seen it on social media, so thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Do exist.
She is
Yes.
real. She's real.
You do exist. Let's just kind of kick off with, how did you guys meet? How long have you guys been together, been married?
You want me to
Go
tell
for
this
it.
one?
Yeah, you got it.
I think there are different versions who are depending on who tells it.
You fall in love madly with me right away is the story. Or did you tell it?
It'll be
Trick question.
yeah, exactly. This summer it'll be 15 years married together. 20.
Wow,
Together.
that's so awesome. So yeah, how did you guys meet?
Well, we weren't quite high school sweethearts. We didn't go to the same high school, but our families live in the same town, and we met the summer before college, and that's when we started dating.
So Arnie has type 1 diabetes. Obviously, he has since he was 5 years old, I think I heard. So Megan, what did you know about type 1 diabetes before Arnie, and how was that in like the dating journey?
That's a long way back to think. I didn't really know anything about it. I was just kind of along for the ride, and I don't know. I don't really think it affected our dating journey at all. We made some memories, that's for sure, with some episodes. But I don't know. I don't look at it as anything different than like a normal relationship. It was just
That's
part
good.
of it.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it either whenever I met Jen at all. I mean, I was, looking at her like, is something about to happen? I don't know. And because all I'd ever been told is like, you need to eat right or you're going to get diabetes. And it's like, I had no idea it was two types at all or anything.
Yeah.
And
More than two.
well, yeah. And,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we talked about in another podcast too, is just there needs to be more tools, more training, because I had no idea and I just had to just kind of live beside her and figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah, and I'm sure when you guys met 20 years ago, I mean, I was thinking the other day about when I was diagnosed, and I would love to hear your story, Arnie, but when I was diagnosed, there was just not any education around. Like, I got diagnosed, I'm sure you did too, and they called it juvenile diabetes. They didn't even call it type 1 diabetes. And yeah, there was nothing. We didn't know anything. My parents didn't have the support that parents can get today, and so we just had to kind of figure it out, and that was a long journey. So Arnie, you were 5 years old when you got diagnosed. Do you remember any? I don't remember anything from when I was 5.
So I was talking to my mom about this the other day. I don't believe I have any memories before I was diagnosed. And I think the only memories that I do have of that diagnosis were getting discharged. And those memories are kind of sketchy. And it's like you have memories, but there's been enough stories told that you think you can remember. But the one thing that I do remember is, being told that there would be a cure within my lifetime. And then that was in 92, right? So that was a long time ago. And then I remember going, the next vivid memories I have are the 1 year, maybe 2 years post-diagnosis, we went to a family diabetes camp. And I remember practicing injections. I mean, I was already given injections, but they had an exercise where we were practicing injections on an orange and then on your parent, doing saline shots on, like, I was giving my dad like saline shots.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
And then we went to this diabetes camp, and there was a family. It was like RV or like a camp. Like, we pulled a pull behind camper. It was up in the California mountains. We had some bear trouble. People had left food out, and the bears had gotten into the food. And they ate everything except the sugar-free gummy bears. The bears didn't eat the sugar-free. They knew, they were like, that doesn't smell real. This is completely serious. They ate everything that was left out except the sugar-free gummy bears. They were completely unharmed, like in the bag, zippered up, like, let's set off to the side.
You're like, thank you, I'll have my snacks. You guys, I don't know what to tell you. That is crazy. I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 9 years old. So you would think most 9-year-olds have memories, 8-year-olds. He tells me memories from like when he was 4. I'm like, how, dude? Like, I don't know. I don't remember much from before I was 9, and I'm sure there's a lot of psychology and trauma to that, but I don't remember a ton of my childhood before diagnosis. In my mind, life kind of starts when I got diagnosed. I just remember like highlight points of when I got diagnosed, but same as you, like other people kind of have to piece it together for me because I think I just maybe blocked out, blocked it out.
Blocked it out.
Yeah, I have no idea,
That makes
but
sense.
I remembered more as I got older, and my sister was telling us stuff the other day. I didn't realize that she was literally the one giving me my shots for a really long time. I thought that she just did it for like one day. But that was my 12-year-old sister giving me shots all the time, taking care of me. So it's crazy.
That's a great example, though, of it being
Yeah.
like a family diagnosis. Like it affects everybody.
You said that you had some like episodes happen in the beginning of dating. So I'm assuming maybe low blood sugar episodes. Megan, how did you handle that? Like, if you can go back and remember, how did you handle that? What was your thought process? All of that. Guys, tell us a story.
You want us to tell an exact story?
Yes. Yeah, do it.
I don't think there are too many to tell, so I'm interested in which one she's going to tell. I mean, there are a few, but I mean, not like more than 10.
That might look different to her.
Yeah.
Start off by saying when we started dating, like communication was key because I didn't know anything. So I'm like, you need to tell me what are your symptoms? What do I need to look out for, whether you're low or you're high? When he's low, I can always tell also by the way he like his eyes sink into his head, but he would always say like really nice things, like really, really sentimental, very like emotional type things. And I'm like, this
It's just who I am.
he's a very sweet person, but he's also very sarcastic. So I'm like, we need to
No.
One story in particular is when we were in college. We were timing at his brother's swim meet, and they gave us all sorts of pizza. And I don't know if you overbolus, but after we finished timing the meet, we went and had ice cream with my sister, and she was on a date. And we were at this ice cream shop, and he just kept going on and on about, oh, this ice cream's going to give me diabetes, da 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 da.
Oh,
Date.
bless.
Hey, yeah,
They
my
did.
sister's date did.
And he had no clue.
Wait, did they end up together?
No.
We never met him before. I mean, we knew who he was, or you did.
I did, yeah.
But yeah, so he was already, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy. Like,
And so my sister and Arnie and I just kind of looked around with a little bit of smile on our face, just eating our ice cream. Well, I don't know if you overbolus, but he went low really fast. And during the middle,
pizza and ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, do you even need to say more? Like,
Yeah.
and this
Seriously.
ice cream in 2006, right? So do a split bolus and all that stuff like that wasn't even like I hadn't even like entered that realm of like
Yeah.
patient of care. So go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So in the middle of us eating our ice cream, Arnie's like, my face is starting to tingle. I'll be right back. And so he goes out to his car, and I kind of look out the window and keep an eye on him, and he's just kind of walking around, sipping on his juice box, so full that he's like, wait a second. And he
Full from eating pizza and then trying to eat the ice cream because I felt myself going low. So then I'm trying to eat the ice cream, but that's a slow. So then my stomach
Yeah.
full.
Yeah, he chunked all over the parking lot.
Oh no.
It was, I mean, just like that was very memorable in my experience. Yeah.
So did you tell the date? Well, he has diabetes
I don't know what the conversation was like when I went.
from the ice cream he just ate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He actually immediately got diabetes because he ate this ice cream.
It was very ironic and memorable.
So how many siblings do you have, Arnie?
Just one. I have one little brother.
Okay. Oh wait, did you say it was yours? It was your sister, Megan.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. She's like, yeah, I'm not going on a second date with him. There really was no education around it. When I got home from being diagnosed, my mom, I just shared this on a recent episode, but my mom cleared out the kitchen because she had the same education the world did. She's like, no more sugar for you. It's all gone. But my dad would sneak it to me because he knew I just needed insulin. So he would, could you picture that though? My dad's like, here you go.
I've been saying this a lot lately, and it's something that that I try to share out. No one teaches us how to be diabetic. Like you go to an endo and they write you prescriptions and they get you like base, like, enough to keep you to survive. Right.
Yeah.
Here's some pens. I'll see you in 3 months after you get diagnosed. Right. And here's a CGM now, but no one teaches you how to be diabetic. And it's crazy to say that in 2026.
I was talking about this recently with somebody because, you know, I know we are so much more blessed today than, say, you know, like 20 years ago, excuse me, around the time that we were diagnosed as kids or longer than 20 years ago. But now you can kind of find people like you who share so many tips and helpful things. I've been a diabetic for 23 years and I learn stuff from you all the time. And even like I had done the twist before you and Sammy, but I'm still learning from you. And I think I could have used you, Arnie, the first time I did twist, because I was so overwhelmed. I went back to Omnipod, and we all saw how that went. My A1C went up. I was just it was bad. But anyway, so like education today and social media. What made you want to share on social media? How did that journey go? And I'd love to hear, like, after you share, I'd love to hear, Megan, your thoughts around like his life on social media. I guess that little bubble of the social media world.
I think what drove me to share, interestingly enough, was so I got this wild, hair in probably November 23. So almost 2.5 years ago now, that I wanted to run a marathon. And then I wanted to run for Beyond Type 1. One of the things when you have to apply and you're filling out your application, and it's like you got to put all this information in there, your little diagnosis story, why you think you deserve to run. And then there was a block for your social media handles. Have any? Like at that point in time, I didn't have any social media. Some of that was because of work, and I didn't want to have to explain to work that I was on social media. That's another whole story we could go down. So I created Type Run Diabetic as a way to show like, oh look, I'm actually involved in the diabetes community, because I hadn't been involved. And then when I got on social media, I was like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, this is kind of lame. Like, this is really sad and negative. And that's why I appreciate your content, because it's positive. Like, there needs to be like these parents who come home from the hospital and they have a kid who's newly diagnosed. They're scared out of their minds, right?
Yeah.
The last thing they need to see is like a bunch of weeping and like sadness all the time. They need to see some hope and some positivity, and like, hey, like, this guy can run a marathon. Or look at Jen, she's in the gym working out with her husband. And look, Arnie and Megan are married and have a successful relationship. At least I think it's successful. And we have girls, like we have kids. Like, you can live a completely normal life with diabetes in the background, right? It takes a little bit of effort and discipline on the front end, but like, you can do it.
I am amazed at you and Addie, and I'm sure there are other people, but you two are the first that come to my mind when I think of diabetic marathon runners. I'm not saying I would never do it, because you two have inspired me so much. Like, it's almost one of those things. I've never really had a strong desire to run, but it's almost like you want to do it just to be like, look, I'm a type 1 diabetic and I did this.
Yeah.
Because not only are you and any other type 1 diabetic runner having to like learn the discipline of running. Like, my best friend is a marathon runner. She's wild. She's amazing. She's not a diabetic. And I see the amount of training and effort she puts into it. Then throw in type 1 diabetes onto that. You're not only learning how to run and have the endurance, you're learning how to time your diabetes management, when you're having different snacks, how much insulin you have on board before you run. It's wild to me.
The comparison I use a lot is like, of managing diabetes, especially during the honeymoon period, with not even, we'll get to running in a second, is like blindfolded, drunk, dizzy bat. Like managing honeymoon period and newly diagnosed diabetes. And you add in running to that, and it's like drunk, dizzy bat, blindfolded, but you have plates spinning at the same time. Like, you have to know where the plates are.
It's quite a visual.
It's so hard to do.
Now, do you want to go run a marathon after
Yeah,
that?
that's right. Or do you
Seriously.
drunk, dizzy, bad? That sounds kind of fun. Did you want to share about what you think about me being on social media?
Well, it's funny because, like he said, up until 2 years ago, he didn't have social media. So once he started, about a month in, we had packages showing up on the front door, and I'm like, "Who ordered this?" And he's like, "I ordered it off Instagram. I had to have it." I'm like, wait a minute. We need to have a social media chat.
Do you remember what it?
Oh, there's been several things. The sweatshirt. He wears this sweatshirt for one. It's got the 100% emoji on it.
Yeah.
He wears it all the time. But
Okay. Go ahead. Keep
you can justify all your purchases. I think it's been interesting because now Then he found the recipes and he's like, why haven't you made me this? You go through the stages of a beginner social media user. It's just interesting because I think he sees things differently now than he did before. He was very realistic before. When I would say, oh, I saw this on social media, he's like, I ignore that. And now he's like, did you see that on Instagram?
It's so interesting to see how people talk about the goods and bads of social media. And I do think it's probably a net positive, but maybe not by a whole lot. It's really close. Like it can be a huge time suck, but it also, there's a lot of benefit, like specifically in our case, Jen, like diabetes education. There's goods and bads of diabetes education on Instagram.
I've been on social media for a while, but as far as like the type 1 diabetes community, that started around 2019, but I really started diving in around 2023. And I was like, holy moly, there's a whole world of people out here. Mike and I actually, we're very new compared to you guys. We'll celebrate 2 years in May of marriage.
Congratulations.
2 years to the rest of forever.
I like each other.
Yeah, but so 2023 was kind of when I started diving in. I kind of took a little bit of a break because I was posting a lot. I actually, in fact, started a YouTube channel in 2019 that didn't go anywhere because I don't think that's what the Lord, that's like not the path he was taking me to. It's another story. But so him and I, we get married and I say, okay, we're married now. Like we're kind of like starting in our lives. I want to start doing this again, but I really want to help people. Like I really want them to see the positive. That's just, I think, who God created me to be. I just like being positive. Negativity feels icky to me. I have a really hard time with anything that feels like confrontation. I saw that there was a whole world out there, and kind of like you said, there was a lot of great and relatability. And if you're not careful, you can get sucked into the negativity.
Yeah.
I found myself in some of my old content, even like kind of gearing on that negativity side. And it doesn't feel good. It feels icky. Yes, there are some people that are dumb or whatever, but they're just not educated. And that's why we help them, you know? Anyways, yeah, social media is a beast. Megan, he doesn't like hardly ever do anything on social media. He deleted his Facebook and then you re-downloaded it to have Marketplace.
Well, I put my Facebook on pause, and then Facebook didn't let me back into it. So I lost my Facebook account
You were like, meh.
that I had for, I don't know, what, 10 years or something?
Probably
I mean,
more.
whenever Facebook was around is probably when I made it. So everything was on there, and it kind of sucked, but I was also sort of happy about that. So yeah, I don't do a lot on there anymore. I used to do a lot of like online fitness coaching and different things, and so I would do marketing, and I was in groups, and I did videos and streams and stuff, and
You drained yourself out.
that was a lot. And eventually, I just got sick of it and just tried to never step back into it. But here I am. So it reminds me of, you know, when you go on Google and there's some place with a bunch of reviews, but people really just write reviews when things are bad.
Yeah.
And so it's like you go on social media and everybody's just venting and complaining and everything. And so like that's why you guys are so special about what you do, because there needs to be more positive influencers. And I don't even want to say influencers, just positive people, you know? I mean, you're helping people to understand diabetes and how to take care of it, and just kind of like break the stigma or whatever of, you know, you can't do this, can't do that. And like my dad still doesn't understand her diabetes at all, you know. And he's like, "Oh, that has sugar in it. You can't have that, right?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Dad,"
we just laugh at him.
he's like over and over
He's
again.
cute. He's caring.
But like he's
Yeah.
not on social media, you know. And it's like if you have something in front of you, it kind of sticks with you easier, you know, because we can tell him something all the time. But if he saw one of these videos, you know, it would probably click. And so for a lot of people, it probably does.
Yeah.
So it's important. And so I'm okay with being on this.
Yeah.
I
And for
like
a
it.
lot
I
of
like it.
people, like, you know, you meet newly diagnosed diabetics and you're like, hey, there's a world out there. But then it's almost like you want to give them helpful accounts like type 1 diabetic or like people that they'll learn from. Yes, there's a community, but also here you can learn a little bit and not feel so alone, which I would say that's probably a common goal of a lot of us diabetics on social media is we want not only ourselves to not feel alone and isolated. But like you said, I like how you put it, like diabetes is always there, but I'm still like I'm living my life. I'm married, I have 2 beautiful girls, I have a career, but there's just this too. It's like a card that we were dealt and we just, handle it. Back to the running though. So your first marathon, how did that go? And I'm so curious to know, Megan, because I feel like he would be a nervous wreck probably, but I'm just curious to know how that went. The opposites of us though, and of course I know a little bit of Arnie's personality from social media, but I would say because I've told Mike, like, you and Arnie's personality is kind of similar in the way that you're very blunt and you don't care, not in a bad way.
Oh, sugar
So
coat.
anyways, the male type 1 diabetic here and the female type 1 here. So I don't know if you're just like, he's got it, I'm not worried. But anyway.
Yeah. So my first marathon was in September of 24. So I had about 9 months from when I decided to run. I was going to run a marathon. So quick flashback. I applied to be on type 1 and I didn't get in. So I got denied, which was like, okay, whatever, that's fine. So then now I've got this social media account and I'm like, okay, well, I created this to try to get on the marathon team. Well, I'll just keep doing it. So then I just basically was like, and if you go back to all my early stuff, it's basically just me running, talking about diabetes, like while I'm running, like mid-run, it's just me chatting to myself. So my first marathon was in September and it didn't go quite like I wanted it to, but I was kind of trying to prove a point at the same time. So I went low carb.
Oof.
And trying to endurance train while going low carb. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to compare, like, is it even possible? So I'm an engineer and I try to figure as many things out as possible, like to try to experiment as much as I can. So I went low carb.
Experiment on yourself.
Yeah.
All the time.
I mean, all the
all
time. I went low carb, came off my pump and was doing long acting and regular insulin, like R insulin, like not even.
Wow.
I would correct with Humalog if I was high. But I went to try like the Bernstein style. Like, so my pendulum went way this way. I almost whacked you in the face. That would be great. That would be great. So, and then right before I got bronchitis, but I didn't know that I had bronchitis. So I have zero carb loading. And then I go to try to run the marathon and I get to mile 18 or so, there's a wall you can hit. And I just ran out of gas. Like
my wall would be at 1.
So, and I can hear myself like audibly like wheezing. I'm like, okay, so it's not right. Now my blood sugar, what happens when you go to an event like that and you're ready to go, like your adrenaline starts pumping. So you run high. So I did wear the pump during the run so that I could give myself insulin if I needed to, because I didn't want to be carrying I don't want to carry a pen and pen caps around. When I hit the wall, I had to like walk a little bit, and that messes with your blood sugar like crazy because you're trying to run. Anyway, so across the finish line at 4:18, my time, not my blood sugar. And
I was like, dang.
But I don't remember what I was when I finished because I was high because I had been walking. So that was the first one, got it out of the way. And then I traveled for work. That was on Saturday. I traveled for work on Monday and I land where I was going for work, and I can hear myself I'm having a hard time breathing. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not okay. So I went and got checked out and they're like, yeah, you have bronchitis. So I ran my first marathon with bronchitis, which I do not recommend.
Every other marathon is so much easier now, right?
Like, yeah, for real.
Right.
My gosh.
Well, then 6 months later, he ran another one, the New York one.
So 2 weeks before that first marathon in September, I got an email from Beyond Type 1. And they're like, hey, by the way, we've had some people either get hurt or drop out. Do you want to run the New York City Marathon?
2 weeks later?
2 weeks. No, 2 weeks before my first one. So it's.
Okay.
It's it's actually probably the end of August, beginning of September. I had scheduled another marathon. So I assume New York City's out the window, right? My whole goal was to try to run a marathon under 4 hours. I scheduled 2. I had one in September and then one in December. Then I got an email from Beyond Type 1 and they're like, hey, by the way, so there were 12 weeks between those, which I figure is enough recovery time. I'm going to change my diet and I'm going to go back on my pump for marathon number 2 to try to compare what it's like trying to be low carb and then trying to how I would try to prepare for the marathon. And then Beyond Type 1 emails me and I'm like, duh, I want to run the New York City Marathon. Then I'm like, oh no, so I'll have run a marathon and then 6 weeks later, I'll run another one. And then 6 weeks later, I'll run another one. And I've not done one yet. But I'm like, you know what? Whatever, let's do it. who cares? Let's go. Let's roll the dice. Let's do it. And that's
Oh my
what we
gosh.
did. And that's what we did. So
Yep.
I finished in 418 in my first one, and then went 356
Wow.
and 336 in Kiowa in
Wow.
December.
Dude,
That's
that
really
is,
good. That's
yeah, that is crazy.
Bronchitis,
Okay,
car.
yeah, for real. So Megan, what were you thinking? I mean, I'm sure you're used to his shenanigans by now. Obviously, you've been married for 2 decades. Well, you've been together for 2 decades, but yeah, what were you thinking?
Well, I knew how to track him because he's done races before. And so most of these races have time trackers so you can see where they're at,
Yeah.
of course.
And the follow-up. So I was using Dexcom then. So you could
Oh
see
yeah,
Yeah.
I could track him on my phone. I knew like where he was supposed to be around mile 15. I needed to find my points where I was going to meet him. I knew where he was going to be at a certain time. I get really, really nervous. And he acts like he's not nervous at all, but that's probably just to not add the nerves on to me because I don't know. I want him to do well, so I get really nervous. I don't know if it's his adrenaline, but he always starts out high.
Yeah, it's
Always.
adrenaline.
And
Yeah, for sure.
every race, like I can't clearly think through that's normal or he might be having a sensor issue. So I panic the whole time, every race, because I'm like, oh my gosh, his meter is telling me he's over 300 and I don't know where he's at. I don't know. I can't breathe until he gets to the very
Oh,
finish line. But I knew when we were at his first marathon, he got to mile 17, and we stayed with some of his friends' parents, and they came to watch him finish. But they're like, "Well, do you know where he's at?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it says he's right here." And I'm like, "Wait, he's not moving. He's not moving. His blood sugar says he's really high, and he keeps going up. Where is he? Where is he?" For 30 minutes, I probably paced back and forth because I'm like, "This something's not right. Something's not right." And you walked across the finish line like
Yeah.
barely moving. His
Yeah,
legs
I
were
couldn't breathe.
about to break down because
Yeah. I was also high. I was over 200.
I think his legs just gave out on him because you were doing the whole low carb thing and
Yeah, I
amongst
couldn't-
all the
yeah.
other factors. That first one about did me in. Now, when we got to New York, it was very exciting. It was
I was ready.
yeah,
I
he
had
was in better
healed.
shape
Yeah.
and better prepared. When he ran New York this year or this past year, this is the second time he ran New York. He also started out not as high as his sensor was telling me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm screenshotting all the different blood readings and it's like 356 going up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to call 911. Like, I need to figure out where he's at. And he was fine. He ran by me and was like high-fiving us and, oh yeah, give me a heart attack, will you?
oh
So
man, that's not a time to get false readings.
no, and it happens every time. And I can't sensibly think through that.
And what's given the false readings? Is it just like distance, or is it like because you're moving and bouncing, like running?
It can be a couple different things. So for New York, I wore a Dexcom and a Libre because I was wearing Twist in New York this time, but I wore a Dexcom to have both, like to be able to like, okay, if one fails, I don't have to put another one on, and I can go off these other readings. Well, the Libre was like you're 260, and the Dexcom was like you're 350. So it was telling me I mean, those are both high, right? Which is not great.
Yeah.
But I know that I've got insulin that's going to start really working when I start running. So I'm going to come down, and I know that. So it's like, okay, if I start at 260, I'm going to finish and be fine, a third of the way through, and then I can hold on basically.
Yeah. I could only track his Dexcom. I couldn't track his Libre. So I was getting those really high readings.
Yeah. For some reason you got kicked out of the Twist app. I don't remember the Insight. I don't remember why that was, but she got booted out. So
We need to download that back on your phone. That's been driving him a little crazy lately, and I've just been going on with my life because I don't use Dexcom anymore. But yeah, we need to get you the insight.
It's nice to be able to see for sure, and I totally can empathize with you, Megan, on being in the dark on that because even though Jen's not a runner, she used to do these work trips and she'd be gone for 3-4 days or a week or something, and then I'm at work or something and I can just see because we had the Dexcom app at the time too, and so I would get alarms, urgent, 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 and I'm like, hey, they just check in to see if you're. But she's at an event, she's busy, she's not on her phone, and I'm thinking, I'm watching it go up to 250, 300. There was times where it was really, really high.
Or
I
going
was,
really, really low.
or yeah, and it just says low. And it's so low it doesn't even give a number. And I'm over here like, are you eating? Hello, hi. And I'm like, I don't want to be annoying,
Yeah.
but also, are you alive?
We were dating at the time. We weren't, I don't even think we were engaged
Yeah,
yet.
because she's in a different state, and so I had
Yeah.
no control. And yeah, so even just now, I mean, at the time I was still pretty new with just the whole diabetes management in general, and so I think I was slightly just being, I don't know, overprotective or just lost. I didn't know yet, so I mean, that was within the first couple months of dating, even you were on trips. So I just immediately was having to just sit back and hope. So I was having anxiety attacks. I'm like, oh my
I
gosh, what's
never
going
had
on?
somebody care that much though either, because like anyone that I dated, that was one of the things I was like, he's gonna take care of me.
Yeah, and there were a couple times that it was like a kind of scary or close call, I guess, but most of the time it was a false reading, or she had already had juice and was just waiting for it to come up or whatever. And it probably took me a good 10 trips or so for me to think, okay, I think she probably can handle it.
Yeah.
I'd always be like, I've done this for 20 years before I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and I
she did
think
not
too,
let me alone.
as a spouse, that's just part of the learning curve. And it's a good thing you've got to, it adds another level of trust you have to put in them because they know their body best. And like you, Arnie travels where he can't have his phone, but I would sometimes get alerts and then I couldn't get a hold of him. And I'm like, well, you're on your run. I mean, you're in and I can't do
Yeah.
anything about it, but,
Yeah. And it's a trust that's hard. Like when she sees a low reading or when she gets an alert that I'm low or high or whatever, I sometimes feel like am I like betraying that trust, like that she has in me that, oh, he knows what he's doing. He can take care of himself. Like even running a race, like
No pressure.
me being high, is that, diminishing the trust that we've built that I'm not a complete idiot and I can keep myself alive. You know what I mean? It's a balance, for a couple.
and for the record, that never crosses my mind. Honestly, it's more like, we just need to make sure you finish this race alive,
Yeah,
and then you're safe.
yeah. That is so valid though. And that's why we started this podcast because I felt like, and I don't know, maybe people, I felt like there wasn't enough conversation around what a relationship looks like with type 1 diabetes.
Sure.
And there is like, man, that was a really good perspective that you just said of like that level of trust and like making sure that Megan knows like I can take care of myself. I didn't even realize that really is a thought process, even if it's not like maybe the first forefront, because same for him. He's not thinking like she's an idiot, whatever. But yeah, you have to build so much trust.
I just assume she thinks that all the time though. So we've been together.
But to a point that you said, I will get a little nervous when he's out running or
Yeah.
he's somewhere where I can't contact him and I'll get alerts and then I'll be like, "Are you okay? Like, do I need to come and get you when I finally can get in touch?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." I'm
Like,
"Oh
I
my
got
goodness."
in the winter. So I typically, unless it's freezing cold, I'm in like a tank top and like short running shorts and I'm out and running, right? With the Libre, I learned that it's pretty sensitive to the cold. Like, so if it's below 50 and it's not like, warm or covered up, it'll basically it'll say sensor too cold and it'll stop reading. But the
Wow.
up to that shows this. So before it shows sensor too cold, it'll be like, oh no, you're actually crashing. And I'm not. Like, so I know when I'm running that I'm not that low. So she'd be like, hey, dummy, are you alive?
I would never say that.
But I can't say it, but I can hear it.
That's what he heard. Yeah.
It's not those voices.
So
Yeah, those are the voices in your head from the low blood sugar.
Yeah.
but it's
Hearing things.
that same, like, so if I'm out running, Garmin has the little app where she can track me. I just got like a live tracker to show her where I'm at. But I've had to message her and be like, hey, look, I need you to come get me. Like, I can't.
Wow.
I'm 6 miles from home, and like I need you to get in the car. Like, put the girls in the car, please, and come get me. Which is,
But that's really only
incredibly
happened
humbling.
like once or twice.
Yeah.
I bet you were freaking out. Oh my gosh, girls, come on! It's like speed.
Well, if you're 6 miles, 10 miles away from home. I mean, even just being a regular person, I'm tired. That's a long way to go. So yeah,
Yeah.
you stack on low or something on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
reason not to just make that easy. Let's just get you back.
Yeah. It's so hard though, as a competitor to be like, okay, I need to eject. I cannot save this plane. Like we have to eject and get out. And that it's really hard to admit that like I failed, right? And it's
Yeah.
I don't view it as a failure, but it does feel like failure at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, yeah, I get that for sure. And I think it's kind of like, there's certain things you can work through. Like, I have tendonitis or some kind of pain, but this is different. This is, your life basically. So
Yeah.
like you actually have to pay attention to it. You can't outwork the blood sugar.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not,
try to outwork
it's
mine sometimes.
it's got to be hard to think that, oh, it's not my fault that I'm unable to finish this or whatever. Because there's been days where
Mm.
she can't go to the gym,
Yeah.
or decides not to go to the gym because it's going to end up being like half a workout because she had to wait for her blood sugar to fix beforehand or something. But
Yeah.
it's pretty 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 seldom, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Or like, I'm not a runner, but I am active. And so if a low happens in the middle of a lift, I get so mad. I get so mad. I'm sure that if somebody didn't know me and they looked at my face, they'd be like, what is going on with that girl? Because I'm
There
just
goes there
pissed
goes my
off.
pump. My pump's gone.
Okay, how I found you, Arnie. I want to tell you, I don't know if I ever have. And so you both can hear this for the first time. So we both are friends with Kylie. I was on the phone with her the other day and I was like, I feel like you're like my sister and Arnie's like my brother in this diabetes world. I found you, Arnie, because I found Kylie when she was like new on Instagram, and I just real like my heart felt for her. I'm sure you remember this. I felt like I was supposed to pray for her, and so I was like, okay, like I'm the type of person if I say I'm going to pray for you, I'm going to. So I was just saying a prayer to myself, and I felt like no, you're supposed to pray for her. And I was shaking. So I sent her a voice text. I'm like, I have no idea what you believe in, pray for her. And we just have been friends ever since. And she shares how she met you. And so I was like, I haven't seen a ton of believers, at least on my side of who I follow in the type 1 world. I want you to share it because you'll share it better. But she shared how she met you through the Noble story. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Share how you met Kylie, because that's how I met you, was through Kylie.
Yeah. So in round 2 of marathon training, like year 2, 2025, I decided like, hey, I'm going to be running a lot. And instead of just me talking to the phone while doing my Instagram content, like, why don't this is an opportunity for me to identify and personalize some of this training for other diabetics. Like, so I put out basically like an open call, like, hey, if you have a kid or if you're diabetic and you want me to dedicate a training run to you, reach out to me and I will film a little video. It's basically like, they send me a couple facts about their kid, like stuff they like to do. I would be like, hey, miles above, Paxton and Wells, all those kids, and Noble, right? So I did videos for all those kids. Kylie reached out and was like, hey, can you do a video for my son, Noble? Well, to go back, we went to a concert, and now the guy's name is escaping me, but it's a Christmas presentation, walks through like the birth of Jesus, like all the way from like,
Was it the Lamb of God?
The Lamb of God, Behold the Lamb of God, Andrew Peterson. There we go. There's a song in there about Joseph being a noble man. And that song, like, this is way before I've met Kylie and talked to Kylie. But that song, like, that stuck in my head. Like, man, I hope that one day when my girls have kids of their own, that they can, you don't hear anybody described as noble. Anybody named Noble. That song just resonated with me, and I listened to it like 50 times over the next couple of days. I was like, where are all the noble people at now? Because that's not a word you use to describe anybody. But
Yeah.
quickly was like, okay, if you can be compared to Joseph from Bible time, that'd be pretty cool. Then Kylie reached out, and I was like, wow, this kid's name is Noble. Like, wow, that is not that's not common. Like that I have this. That word, like, just I became obsessed with the word for like a couple weeks at a time or a couple weeks, then she reached out. That just was like a pure sign from me, like, okay, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you need to keep going. Like, go and continue to do what you're doing.
I just got the chills. I got chills the first time I heard the story. I just think that's how cool God is. He literally orchestrates everything to the point of you're at a concert with your wife. You have no idea why you love this song and why this word stuck out. And then, like he worked in so many different ways in that. I'm sure in other people's lives that were at that concert. But for you, it was like, okay, this is like a God wink. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just love that. But I heard that story and I was like, this is awesome. This is what we need to be sharing more too, because I could not do my life, but type 1 diabetes without the Lord. I could not, because on the days I want to break, even after living with it for, decades at this point, you can't pick up on your own strength. Like you really can't. Anyways, you shared that and I was just really, really encouraged by it. And it almost gave me like this, it was like on my end of things, almost like a reminder to like you're doing the right thing by sharing more about your faith and stuff. Cause I was scared to, which is so funny because I'm not really like that. In the diabetes world, I was scared to share more about my faith. When I was doing social media before I was dived into the diabetes world, I'd talk all the time. And then it was like, why did you stop type of thing. If I ask people if they need prayer, I will voice text them. That's what we're here to do, is be an encouragement for people, to lift them up, and just, it's, you just never know what impact you're making, even down to like the Noble story or like the free coaching, which is cool because I read that Substack and I think I was telling you about that. I was like, that is so cool. Like, no, there's not necessarily anything wrong for, because he used to be a coach, but with what you were saying, to kind of segue into it, you were saying, but in the diabetes world, I was flabbergasted, you use different words, but at like the prices people were charging to help with diabetes. So what made you want to do that? Like, what made you want to do free coaching, and how much of your energy does that take? I'm very curious.
The reason I got into it is because of what I saw when I first got on social media, when I was trying to create my presence to try to get on the marathon team. And then I was getting ads for like coaching. And I would read some of the stuff and then I would go and look at their prices. Actually, I didn't look at prices right away, but my first thought was, so the last couple of years, I've been calling this my midlife crisis. Like I'm going through a diabetes, like midlife crisis. I've been diabetic for 30 years. And then I get on Instagram and I'm having like this incredible like calling of, hey, you need to be active in this community and you need to do it now. So that's how it got started. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can be a coach. Like, sure, whatever. I'm an engineer, but I can't go become like a CTE. I'm not going to go back to school. Like I'm providing for a family. I can't just like stop working, and I can't work and go to school. So coaching, right? I can go be a coach. So I got the health and wellness coaching certification. I got to setting up my website and I'm like, how am I going to price my stuff? So then I go start sampling prices and I'm like, I can't charge this. Like I physically, I cannot charge this. There's nothing wrong with someone trying to make a living at all, no matter what it is. But I couldn't do it. I don't think I could do it because I felt like the same people who are saying like, hey, you need to pay this much for my coaching would also then turn around and be like, insulin should be free. And I felt like incredible.
You said it.
That just made me like I get like that stuff makes me so angry. Like the double standard that I felt like was being applied. How much time does it take? You'd be amazed at how many messages I get. Not like,
oh, I believe you,
a ton, but enough that it's like where she's like, hey, that's enough at times. I have a lot of repeat, frequent flyer type folks, but I've had 3 messages today from people that I haven't, one totally new person, one person I haven't talked to in a couple months that just started, had a question about Twist. And then a lady talking about traveling, all sorts of stuff. And it's like, that's what I want to be. Like, I want to be like, hey, like phone a friend. Like I have one thing I need to ask. I don't need 12 coaching sessions. I just have a question. That's what I want. Providing it in a direct message, it provides some privacy to people. Like you could post it on a Facebook page, but that's out there for everybody to see. Like, so if you don't want to feel judged by your question, I try to provide, and I hate saying this, I provide a safe space for people to come like ask anything they want to ask about diabetes or otherwise. I'm going to keep doing it as long as it doesn't overtake our lives and as long as I'm having fun, and I'm having a blast right now.
I I see your side, Megan. Well, as far as like that, because he'll tell me sometimes, because um I know you've been growing, Arnie, and I have been too, and so I'll get like the most recent questions have been regarding NLD, so a skin condition due to diabetes, and those are some serious questions that literally pull my heartstrings when I have girls messaging me about what to do on like open wounds, and I'm like, honey, this is like they need to know how to take care of this now. That they could lose their legs. I just feel not the pressure, it's the wrong word, but just like I really want to help them, and yeah, I knew this specific thing was rare, but holy moly, like look at all these women. But there is the balance, because our first priority before the social media, 100%. Yeah. God, family, our kids. We don't have kids yet, or even fur babies, but just finding that balance of knowing your calling and then just like going with that. With all of that, I wanted to bring him into it. I asked him so many times, I tried to give him the out. I'm like, I'll give you the out. Like, are you sure you want to do this? But I just felt like there was so much value in talking about relationships with diabetes. And we don't know how this is going to go, but we're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
I want to bring on couples, and so I'm so thankful, because I know it's Arnie's social media page, it's his face, but I'm like, Megan is such a huge, huge, huge part of this, but we don't see her. And I knew that, and so I was like, I wonder if she'll come on. And it's the same when I'm reaching out to other people, like, will your husband come on, or your wife, or whatever. I know you guys play such a huge part in it, and it just goes unseen. I kind of want to wrap up with some words of encouragement, from putting you on the spot, Arnie.
Sure.
What are some things when you think about your life today? Because you did diabetes obviously before meeting Megan, but it's probably so much better now. What are like the best things about having Megan as your partner in life, your wife, and living this journey of diabetes?
Yeah, I mean, aside from diabetes, this is something that this social media presence or whatever, me being like a pico or nano or micro influencer or whatever we're called, I said, this is something I think I want to do. She was like, yes, go do it. Like, there's not if this is something I felt like I was called to do, she didn't even hesitate. She was like, yeah, you need to do this, and you need to do it. Last year specifically, I was there were some times where I was like, I don't know. And she was like, no, you need to keep going. Like, you need to continue doing what you're doing. So she's an incredible support, whether it's running or whatever. She's like, no, you need to do it. You're doing what you need to do. Look at the feedback you're getting and the response. People are reaching out. Like, you need to keep going. So she's not like saying no. She's actually behind me, like now, like pushing me to continue to go. So I can't thank you enough for that. But yeah, just her being aware and to have the care to be able to follow my blood sugars while I'm running, because a lot of people are like, we've got 2 kids. I'm taking care of the kids. I can't like watch your blood sugars at the same time. And not that she's like constantly checking on my blood sugars, but she's aware, right?
Yeah.
Just for me to know in the back of my mind, like wherever I'm at, if I'm on travel for work, she's got my back. She's supported me the entire way, even from like when we first started dating. And I've tried to manage my diabetes so that, she's not having to constantly think about it. I want it to be in the background for me, but also for her and the girls. Like, I want her first thought to be on her faith, and then us, and then the girls, in that order. I don't want to be a burden. She's incredible, and I can't do it without you. Yeah. I'm not low. This is
I know, we
sincere.
need to check.
Yeah.
She's like, I already know. I knew before you did. He can tell my blood sugar sometimes before I know I'm having a low or a high. He's like, what's your blood sugar right now? So how do you guys teach your girls about, or how did you? I saw that you got them like stuffed animals. How do you navigate that?
Well, we try to include them in any time. Like, they love pushing buttons, like they're little kids. So, and when you're doing a pump change on a
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. They love to push our buttons and your buttons specifically.
Yeah.
But on like, whether it was Omnipod or Twist, like, they like to push the button. So I involve them in like, and I talk to them about what I'm doing. Or Mackenzie, our youngest, like, so I have nerd clusters in the car, like the little individual like Halloween bags. So anytime I get one out, she's like, hey, can I have one? If I need all of them, I say no. And if I don't need them all, I say yes. When I say no, she's like, oh, why not? I'll say, because daddy's blood sugar is low. And immediately after that, she's like, there's no more asking like for additional. So she knows that I need It's crazy how quickly she's
It took
adjusted
them
to
both
that.
to learn, like, I'm sorry, you cannot have his juice boxes. Like, those are for,
Yeah.
I don't even get to drink them.
Yeah, mommy doesn't get them either. I mean, so we talk about it. It's rare, but if we're out or I'm with them and we're in the car and it's like, okay, we need to just sit here for a minute. We need to wait. Like for Daddy's blood sugar to come up before I drive or whatever. What are you doing on your phone, Dad? Actually, I'm giving myself insulin. Do you want to push the buttons? We just try to include them in doing things like that.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
That is so
They
cool.
pick up and learn on it. Like we were running an errand the other day, and Mackenzie put an apple in the car, and she said, "This is for when his blood sugar is low."
She brought an apple. with her.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah, and she's
that melts my heart.
4 years old. So
Wow.
yeah, they pick up on it pretty quickly, and he's the only one that they're exposed to with type 1. So
I'm trying to basically train them to be my nurses, like you and your sister. I'm trying to train my girls
Yeah.
to be my nurses.
exactly.
That is so cool. We'll be coming to you guys one day. Like, what do we do? Help. I want to finish off with rapid fire questions. Did you get to think about any?
I was setting up actually.
You have to answer both at the same time, just quickly. My first one, Coke Zero or Pepsi Zero?
Coke Zero.
Pepsi Zero.
Megan's the real winner here.
Right? You're not from the South and drink Pepsi. I can't do it.
Well, I'm not. I'm a kid from nowhere.
I know,
grew
that's
up all
true.
over.
That's true.
I identify as being from the South, though. Our family's from Tennessee, but I don't know that I have a Southern twang or a Southern drawl, but whatever.
He's a military brat, so he's lived all over.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've lived in Oklahoma our whole lives.
Yeah, we're interesting.
Yeah. Night in or night out, like adventure out?
That's a hard one because
We have kids now. The
Yeah.
answer would have been different probably 8 years ago. But
Yeah, I totally mean with your kids. Y'all want to night in together or
if
leave the kids out of this.
yeah, no kids night out, kids in.
Yeah.
Easier just to not have to wrangle them in public.
100%. High blood sugar or low blood sugar?
Low.
Really?
What would you rather?
High, because
Same.
they're both dangerous, but at least you won't flake out on me if high.
But so it's funny that you say that. Have I ever flaked out on you?
True, no, but we've gone through some lows that have been like, okay, come back to earth.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early.
Late night.
I love this. I love this so much. He's a really early bird. I'm an early bird. He has to get up before me. He's like, I can't get my quiet time if you're awake. Like, I don't even talk to you. Yes, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
in this
Do you have?
life, I don't know. I would like to be an early bird, and I do have to get up early with the kids, but I don't ever get alone time in the morning. So,
Fair.
Your alone time is at night.
and I don't go to bed late. I can't go to bed late. It's like as soon as we put our second child to bed, it's like, okay, I'm going to get in bed.
Yeah. Like, I'm out. I can't think of any more this and that, so I didn't prepare very well.
Those are some essentials there. That's good.
Those are some essentials. We know that Megan's team Coke Zero, and that's all that matters. Mike doesn't like any of it. He's boring. I'm just kidding. You're
I
not
like
boring.
Zevia.
You like Zevia. We love Zevias.
Those
Those are good.
really
Right,
good.
yeah.
I'm
They're
really
honestly-
impressed with and they don't have any coloring in it, right? It's just yeah. They're
Yeah, he told me we're not allowed to buy Coke Zero or Dr. Pepper Zero anymore. So I'm like, okay, that's fair. It's because you care about me.
I mean, pick your poison.
And also,
Yeah.
We're not crazy about it. Well, the zero is no sugar, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just,
so it's just for fun.
it's just the dyes
And
and
I'm like, hey,
stuff.
that's fine. She got a 12 pack or whatever. And I was just thinking, oh, she'll have one sometimes, but it was like 2 or 3 in one day.
The
I'm
Dr.
like,
Pepper Cream
okay.
Zeros,
so good.
those are so good.
New flavor, right?
Yeah, those are so good. But anyways, they're not bad. Anybody watching this, they're not bad. Just personal goals that I told I had to Mike, and he's like, well, if you have those goals, you have to cut those out. I'm like, okay, fine. Anyways, they're great.
Gulp.
I'm gonna drink one right after this.
It's just chemicals,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it's
Okay.
fine, but
Whatever. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this podcast. It was so great to meet you, Megan, and to talk to you, Arnie. You guys are just awesome, and I'm excited to just see more.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad we got to do this.
Thanks for joining our weekly date night. Let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments, and make sure you're following along for more episodes like this. Until then, we'll see you next week.